Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink with yet another card using the Simon Says Stamp Mushroom Stems die set because I'm obsessed and I'm really just loving creating with it. But first, I started off with a panel of Canson XL watercolor paper, and my original plan, I was just going to stamp this onto it, and then I was like, nope, I want to heat emboss it. So I still use the same ink I was going to stamp with. This is Pine Needles Distress Oxide ink, because you can emboss with the oxide inks because they take a little bit of time to dry. So I used my anti-static powder tool and I inked up the stamp. This is from the Leaf Edges background stamp that I have used in several videos, and I'm obsessed with this too. It's so perfect. Anyway, inked up the stamp, face up on my desk, press the paper into it. You can always use your MISTI, a stamp positioner for that. I've been doing this for 20 years, and this is what we did before the MISTI was invented. Plus, I wasn't worried about this needing to stamp perfectly. If you want your background to stamp perfectly, again though, perfection's overrated, or if things like, textured cardstock like the watercolor paper, wanting to be able to restamp it, that's where the MISTI is a must. But I wasn't too worried about that, and I coated it with Simon's Cream embossing powder, and the color shows through a little bit. Again, I'm fine with this because I'm going to be adding sprays and all the things. So yeah, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to explain the thought process because I was just like literally winging it. I was like, this is kind of the rough idea of what I'm going for, and we'll just see what happens. So first, I sprayed it with water just to see if any of the ink would move from underneath the embossing. A little bit did. Sometimes you can do kind of like a trapped ink technique if you stamp something multiple times with like distress inks or oxides, and then heat emboss on top of it. Add water, and the ink underneath will like wick out, and it can be really fun. It just depends. So it didn't really do a whole lot here, so I added sprays, and I used Pine Needle Oxide Spray and Iced Spruce, which isn't a color I reach for very often, but I was like, why not? Why not? And I'd sprayed it with water. This is also why I say in other videos I'm like tape down, I've taped it down to a hardboard, etc., because it curls up. You guys could see this like really curled. I was fine with it though. I wanted kind of a messy, loose background, and I was starting to muck with it a bit, and I was like, okay, set it aside, let it dry, just stop it. Stop messing with it, let it do its thing. So I set it aside to dry, and then I die cut more pieces of that same Canson XL watercolor paper. And I used the WINSOME branch wafer die. This is another kind of oldie but goodie that I've had for, I think this came out last year. I'm not even sure. And then I used one of the bird dies. I'm only mentioning that because, it took me a long time for whatever reason. I'm not sure what exactly my holdup was. Using like bird dies or bird stamps. I've always loved them. I don't know. I can't explain because I don't even know what was going through my head, but started using them back in, I think, the fall in some of my videos, and now try and stop me. I love my little bird dies. So this one was the layered birdie wafer die. And then of course the mushroom stems, which I die cut twice because one set isn't enough. And after I die cut all my pieces, I stuck them to my stick and stamp mat just to hold them all in place. You can always do like little watercolor panels and then die cut after, whatever you're most comfortable with. I personally really love die cutting things from watercolor paper and then either, painting them like I'm going to do here, or, adding ink, like any of those sorts of things. I like being able to see exactly where the color's going, and I enjoy, I don't know, I really enjoy adding color to die cut pieces, whether it be this way or, with my pouncers and inks and blending brushes and inks and all the different things. So this time I'm using my Gonzai Tombi watercolor set. This was a newer one, and I've shown this in a couple videos, and sometimes I honestly haven't checked as I'm doing the voiceover if it's in stock or not. They will if it is out of stock, they will restock it as soon as they're able to. But yeah, this one came out in the last year or so. I'm not sure. And I've used it in a few videos, and for whatever reason, I fixate on those 3 like purpley mauve shades. As obvious, you can tell just by looking at the palette that I've used those the most. So that's what I used for the tops of the mushrooms. And then I'm just slapping color on. Literally, this is, I think, another reason why I really love adding color in this way to die cuts like this. Just slap the color on. Seriously, don't overthink it. Just enjoy it. The way it just adds color and texture. And again, it's just card making. It's fun. I don't know. But again, if you don't enjoy it, find a method you do enjoy. If you prefer just die cutting from pattern paper, or die cutting and then ink blending, or creating backgrounds and then die cutting. Whatever you love to do it. Me, I'm always jumping around 5 million different things because I'm like, ooh, this idea. I'm like the dog from Up. It's like squirrel. Anyway, I did all my little watercoloring. I let it all dry, and then I assembled. And this is why I especially love doing things like the little watercolor, because like how every piece turns out so differently. And yet I used all the same things, but each piece is different. There's different color intensities. It dries differently. There's little water bloom spots, all the different things. And that just adds so much texture and depth. And yet I didn't do anything different between any of those pieces. So I assembled all of my little elements, my little mushrooms and whatnot, with craft tacky glue. And then I assembled a little birdie. And the birdie is super easy to assemble. There's little like score lines on the actual die cuts that you can see in real life. Plus, I just follow the packaging, really. It's like I just look at the packaging and I was like, oh, yeah, that's where this goes. That's where this goes. Get it all assembled and it's good to go. So assembled the little birdie with the craft tacky glue as well. And once that got put together, I was like, oh, isn't he just so cute? I love it. So got him all assembled. I used my little place and score tool for those teeny tiny, which I did watercolor. Because otherwise I would just die cut them from like black cardstock or something. But I managed to not lose the pieces, so I watercolored them. So my background's now dry. I originally was going to do a regular A2 size card because that's 99% of what I do. But then I was like, if I cut this down, because this panel was originally 4.5 by 6 inches, and I was like, if I cut it down to 4 by 6, I could mat that on a 5 by 7 card. So, that's what I did. So I used my rotary trimmer, which I don't, I've only had it a couple weeks, however long. My sense of time is off. Anyway, it's the new one from Tim Holtz. I haven't been able to show it very often in videos because that thing is big. And I'm back to, my typical crafting style where I have maybe 1 or 2 square feet of usable space right below my camera. And I've got so much stuff. I have so much stuff. I still haven't even unpacked my bag from Create. I will get to that. Anyway, I cut down Simon Smooth White cardstock for the card base, and I cut it down to 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it at 5 inches, so it'll be a 5 by 7 card. I then opened up the card. I put some Post-it tape right at the score line so that this stamp doesn't go past the score line. And I'm using the same stamp that I used for the watercolor panel at the beginning. But this time I'm inking it up with iced spruce Distress Oxide ink. Just for a little something different. And again, I say this so often with like pretty much all of the Oxide colors or any of the Distress colors, really. Certain colors that I don't reach for very often, when I do reach for them, like this one, like the ice spruce, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this one. And especially the spray. That mixed with the pine needles is another great combo because you can see like the way they mixed, and the way that pigments move and the dyes move and everything in the Oxide sprays. Like I got some blue in there that I wasn't expecting, and just different little things. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have more videos coming using the Oxide sprays again because again, squirrel. Like, I opened the drawer, I pulled out a couple, and I was like, oh yes, I love these. So anyway, with the like elements, I adhered that little die cut branch with just craft tacky glue. Little mushrooms I popped up with thin foam squares. One, to give it a little more dimension, but also just to be able to adhere on top of all the texture created from the branch. And then with the bird, same thing. I used little foam squares and then added just a little bit of glue onto his little legs there to stick him. So he's standing right on top of the biggest mushroom. So got him pressed into place. And then once that was done, I'm of course going to add splatter. So got everything, my card fronts assembled, and then the mushrooms that I'm going to use on the inside of the card, put them all in my splat box. And the first bit of splatter is my white gouache. So I'm going to stick that on just my little plastic palette here, and then my little fan brush, which I'll pick up a bit of water to thin out the gouache so that I can actually splatter it. And then I'm going to splatter this all over everything. I don't know what it is with these mushrooms as well. That's just, they look better with splatter. I don't know. I like the texture it gives them. Even the last video I did that was more clean and simple, I was like, it needs splatter. So added that first. I let this dry before adding the second splatter, because of course I went with two. Because otherwise they would just start mixing together, which sometimes is fun. It just depends on my mood. But I pulled out my Gonzai Tombi Starry Colors, and this time instead of using the yellow gold, I went with the blue gold, which I don't reach for as often. It's more subtle, hence me not reaching for it as often. But I thought that would be kind of perfect with this card. So I added water, and then you just have to mix it up really, really well to kind of like get the color moving. So I mixed up really well with my fan brush, and then just splattered all over the card front and then those individual little mushrooms. And then stopped for a second, looked at it, added some more. So once I was finally happy with that, set all that aside to dry. And then for my sentiments, this is an oldie but goodie. This is the Greetings Mix 2 stamp set. This is a must-have. I've used this in a ton of videos. I just gotta look. When did this one come out? 2020. So it's been out for a couple years. Good mix of sentiments in this set, especially if you're like, a beginner and you don't have a massive stash like the rest of us when it comes to stamps and dies, especially sentiment stamps. This is a good one. So I pulled that out and I heat embossed the one sentiment onto some black cardstock. And then I took another sentiment from the set and I stamped that onto the inside of the card with VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And then I die cut that sentiment that I'd heat embossed with one of Simon's nested circle wafer dies. So now that I've got the inside of the card is stamped, I stamped the sentiment, those mushrooms, all the splatter and everything is dry. So I adhered those to the inside of the card and then put my big acrylic block on it just to hold everything down to let it dry. And then I just use my fingernail to rough up the edges of the card front here. There is a tool available. Tim Holtz has a distresser / thread cutter type tool that you can use to rough up the edges. I have one. It's in a drawer. I haven't pulled it out in years. I just use my fingernail. I know, nails are jewels, not tools. This is from someone who is actually a certified esthetician. I used to own my own salon. That was previous life. But yeah, for someone who literally made a career out of doing people's nails and telling people what not to do, just like everything. Do as I say, not as I do. So you can also use the edge of your scissors to rough up the edges of paper to create that little texture. So back to the card. That's what I did. And then I adhered it to my card base. I added the sentiment with foam squares as well. And then I went through my stash of bling and found the perfect shade of bling to go with everything. These are the Trinity Stamps Rosy Cheeks Satin Pearls. And I just adhered those into place with craft tacky glue. And that finished off this card. So I will have a link to my playlist because I have done many videos using this mushroom die wafer set because it's just one of my little obsessions. So I'll have a link to that playlist at the end of this video if you want to check it out for more ideas. And then I will, as always, have a link below the video to my blog post that'll have links to all the supplies I used. You can just expand the description box below to check all that out if you are interested. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd very much appreciate it. And I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.